Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my actual shed. I have a shed for the first time, I think, in my adult life. Maybe that's not true. At my old house, I had a garage that was unfit to be a garage. And it basically served nothing more than to be a shed. But in case you weren't aware, for all of these years that I've been saying welcome to my shed, we were actually in the garage of this house, my garage, but I call it my shed. That's the place that I go to be away from the world. And it came about, that name came about for a few different reasons. One was a blog that I used to follow on Board Game Geek. I don't know if you've ever looked at the blogs over at BGG, but there was one called Every Man Needs a Shed, and I followed that for a long time. And it was just dude stuff. I also had a neighbor growing up that he had a shed, and that was his getaway, right? It was his man cave, right? So my garage has always been my shed, but I've been wanting a shed forever, just because. Look at this. All this stuff was taking up room in the shop, and the lawnmower in particular really bothered me because it just kind of is in the way, especially when I didn't have a folding lawnmower. My old push mower just took up so much space. This thing folding means I could get away with one of these little plastic sheds. So I've been wanting one. And to continue a week of unexpected projects, I decided to build a shed today. I had some money from Lowe's gift cards. This particular shed I think is $400. It's a Craftsman 4 foot by 2 foot by 5 foot, and it holds, even a rake stands up in here just fine. It holds everything I could possibly need to put in here. This is all like yard tools, pressure washer, just stuff that doesn't need to be in my shop. It's stuff that I only use on rare occasion. So it was just taking up space, and now it's not. This is one of those things that I live in an HOA, and the HOA is kind of strict about these sorts of things. And even though I'm on the building committee, there's supposed to be a official approval process for this sort of stuff, and it's kind of a pain. And so jumping through hoops to have a shed just seemed ridiculous to me. And I wanted to build like a large shed on the back of the property, but it was like too cost prohibitive because it had to have siding that matches the house, which is not available anymore. It had all this other stuff, but these little plastic sheds, we get away with them just fine. So I decided to go get one to continue this week of unexpected projects and throw it up. And here we are. I'm really happy with it. It went together super fast. I knocked together a base real quick out of 2x6s. I actually bought the shed. It said it came with a floor, and so I assumed that meant that you could just set it on the ground. Went and bought it. Was like, all right, it's going to be a nice week. I'll just get this done, right? And because I want to build a workbench soon, and I needed the space. This was all taking up too much space. So I went and bought it, brought it home. Was like, let's build this shed. I got it out, opened the box, brought all the pieces up here, got the instructions out, and it said, you got to build a base for this. And I was like, oh, crap. So we went to the local home center, picked up some 2x6s, slapped them together. I had a piece of OSB flooring. It's not actually OSB. I forget what it's called. It's a very, very, very water-resistant form of OSB. It's used for household floors. So I used that for the top piece. I figure this is just temporary. This is sitting on brick and a paver. It's going to settle a lot. So this whole setup right now is kind of temporary, but it was just to get all this stuff out of my way. And I'm happy with it. Very happy with it. So this particular model actually has places to put 3 shelves in. So I might, in the not too distant future, put a shelf in here. I think that the rake and stuff would fit on this side, or that, whatever. And I could have a shelf where I could put more up here, because this is all just obviously just wasted space. But I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with all of that. So we'll figure that out in the future. But for right now, I have a shed. I'm not going to continue doing episodes out here, though. It's weird to see people driving by and I'm filming myself, and the lighting is too uncontrollable and the weather's too uncontrollable. So from now on, we'll go back into the shop and I'll say welcome to my shed, and we all know it's not really a shed, and we'll just be okay with that. But know that I do have one, if that's important to you. So, yeah, that's what I have for you today. This has been a crazy week of unexpected projects, and I'm glad it's coming to an end. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Quite a bit of mess to clean up. Today's word you should know to sound smart is pantheon. It's a noun meaning a group of all the gods of a particular religion or culture, or a group of important people in a particular field or region. The sons of Odin, Thor, and Loki represent good and evil in the pantheon of the Norse gods. Pantheon, Pantheon. Again, that's one of those words that I feel like we all know at this point. Maybe thanks to Marvel movies.